Hey traders, Raghee here, and in this update we're going to go ahead and take a look at the YM, the Dow futures. Now everything that I'm talking about on this YM symbol is going to be applicable to the micros, and it's also going to be applicable to the DIA ETF. So if you'd rather take an option on the DIA, if you'd rather take an option on the YM, although it can be a little thin, or if you want to play the micro YM, everything's going to be built off the chart you see in front of you here. All right, so let's get into what we're looking for. So first of all, let's acknowledge this one very simple fact, and that is the Dow is not the relative outperformer amongst the indices. S&P and NASDAQ are far stronger. However, the Dow is behaving a lot like the previous pullback, which is the one that happened right in here. Now, the pullback previous to that was far more volatile. We had a lot of different reasons for that catalyst. But if we take a look at the previous blue pierce of the wave, but blue to green, and then a little bit of movement higher from that, this is starting to look a lot like that setup. So looking at past behavior, looking at the fact that the Dow has been trying to get a little bit more bullish, but struggling to gain traction, we're going to start the conversation at something a little bit more moderate, nothing aggressive, but mostly just a moderate to conservative level for the entry, with the awareness that we could definitely break the bottom line of the wave as we did before. Okay, so what is that going to lead me to do? Smaller position size, could be micros, could be fewer minis than I would had this been a stronger, really solid double green trend. So we'll just adapt with position size as a way to compensate for the higher degree of volatility that we could see with this buy setup. All right, so with that being said, the middle line of the wave is the first level that I'll consider an entry at. That's, as you can see, sitting around 35,080, 35,070. The lower part of the wave is sitting at about 34,850, 855. And just be ready for this market to get even as low as, say, 34,810, 34,820, where, yes, if you want to use the volume ledge here, you could, and have an even more conservative zone that you're willing to be a buyer at. The most important thing about this setup is that we get above the resistance of this minor low candle. So this is potentially the minor low candle, as long as we don't make a lower low than today's low, meaning the next candle that we see, likely another blue candle, but it cannot have a lower low than today. All right, the next most important thing that we're going to have to see is a break through that high from today's candle, just like we had before here. So that's really going to be the momentum shift that we're looking for, but the zone of entry is in this lower half of the wave as opposed to the upper or top half of the wave. And that's the zone. Again, if you want to price out the ETF, if you want to price out the micro, all that is absolutely valid, but notice we're building this idea off of the YM futures, okay? Now, a couple other things that are really interesting. We'll dive more into this in the premium video, but I want you to look at the V-score lows that we've seen and how we're getting very close to that +1 standard deviation on the V-score. We're capable of piercing it by some, but the previous pullback held that +1 standard deviation of the V-score, even with this sort of yellow to green transition on the JT multi, pretty darn good. So if we saw the last test of this V-score hold up pretty well, then I'm going to look for that same pattern, not only in price, but also in volume as well. All right. Okay, so I hope that helps. That's something we're looking to set up here. YM buy. I'll see you in the next update. Hey traders, Raghee from Simpler Trading. Thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to leave a like and a comment below. And remember, Subscribe and click the bell icon so you'll get notified of the next update. And when you're ready to join me for live trading, be sure to head on over to simplertrading.com. I'll see you in the next update.